How to Draw a Baby Sea Turtle by HotPinkZebraPaper. So on a piece of drawing paper, I'm just going to start, and I'm taking a 4B pencil, and I'm just going to basically draw over the entire thing. This creates a really nice background, and so I'm just going to very lightly sketch over the entire thing and then smooth that out with a piece of tissue. So now with an HB, I'm going to be sketching out my turtle. I'm going to start with his head, work on his neck, his two fins, and then his shell. So now with a 6B and a 4B, I'm going to very roughly start shading in. So I'm going to go through and just go over the areas I know are going to be darker, so around his eye and under his chin where the shadows are going to be, and then in his eye itself, and then start working on his neck. And his neck has some wrinkles on it, so you're going to just basically sketch those out now, and then his fin. And then I'm going to start, and I'm going to just draw out a couple of those scale shapes that are on the side of his fin, and then some of the shading. And now I'm going to do the same thing with sketching out, and I'm going to do the sketching on his shell and go over his shell with different intensities of color just to give it some texture. So now with a blending stump, I'm going to be blending all of that out so it looks nice and smooth. So now with a 2B, I'm going to be sketching in all of those scales. I'm going to start with around his eye, and you're just going to want to fill in the areas and pay attention to the different shapes and sizes and everything of the different scales, because they do change throughout a turtle's body. And so right around his eye, they're going to be nice and small, and then right up the front of his nose. But as they go farther on his head, they get larger. And then on the neck, they're smaller because that's going to be softer tissue, and so the scales have to be, they're smaller so that the skin can bend more so that he has more range of movement. Whereas on his head, because it's his skull and it's hard, his scales are going to be, or the skin texture is going to be larger. And so it's not going to be as small because that area is not going to be bending, if that makes any sense. So it's the same thing on the tops of his, right where his fin connects to his body, it's going to be smaller scales, but then as they continue down towards the end of his fin, they're going to get larger, so that, because that area doesn't move as much, but he's got to have a nice range of movement on his arms. Yeah, so, or right on his joint there. So on his shell, it's the same thing. They're pretty big there because that's not going to move. So now I'm going to be shading in that skin texture, and I'm using a 4B. And also shading in the shell. So now I'm going to be highlighting with a kneadable eraser and then a white gel pen. And that's it. I hope you like this drawing. Please share any recreations on Facebook and Instagram. I would really love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!